Hello and welcome to another devlog of sorts of Nach. Well, not so much a devlog as it is kind of explaining what the game is, because suddenly, out of nowhere, well, not quite out of nowhere, but suddenly I've had like one or two programmers interested in the idea, and I think they might have the wrong idea of what this project is. But I'm explaining it, and I'm also going to show off all the things that I've done so far. This is the test level, and there are a bunch of coins in it, and there's the player character over here. That's pretty much everything so far I've done all by myself, including modeling, animating, and rudimentary programming of movement. Yeah, let's start with an example that I've done so far. Right, also, it's been a while since the last video, but this project isn't dead, if anyone was wondering, who, subscribed in the recent months. It's just that I've been learning how, trying to learn more about how Godot works and the weird niches of the GD script, while also working on commissioned art projects and stuff like that. So it's been busy, and I've been working a lot on this project too, but just don't have a lot to show for it. So that's why I didn't make a video in the past month or two. But anyway, there have been some things that I added, like for example the coins as a visual thing that I've added, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, so what is this project? Well, in this project, it's intended to be a rather straightforward and simple action platformer, very much in the vein of the type of games you'd expect to see on the PlayStation 1 or early PlayStation 2. Think, for example, somewhere in between the original Crash Bandicoot and stuff like Spyro, the new trilogy that came on PlayStation 2, which had a lot of action in it, or, for example, Ratchet and Clank, but a bit more on the simple side, because there won't be like massive weapon unlocks or super abilities or something. So the concept is simple. The levels will be linear, quite linear. There will be obstacles to jump over and climb on, and pits to avoid falling into, and also traps and things that will otherwise hurt your character. There will be enemies to beat up, the Skull Warriors, of which 3D models already exist. I just need to make animation for them and find a way to do simple rudimentary AI. There are coins to collect, which will be the reason for people to return to a game. But let's start a bit in order. The levels. The levels are not going to be super original. There's going to be the original plan for myself would be to have 3 levels in a jungle, the early jungle, which will be simple, easy to do. Then there will be 3 levels in the deep jungle. First level being an introduction to the deep jungle, the one being a level truly in the middle of the deep jungle, and the last one being leading up to a boss fight that is inside a temple filled with all sorts of traps. The deep jungle area is not going to have much of any type of enemy. It's mostly going to be really heavy on the platforming side. So the early levels are really easy and has some enemies to beat up. The next 3 levels then have very little enemies with loads of platforming challenges. Then there's going to be 3 levels in, say, like a volcano, which is going to have lots of platforming challenges, similar to the deep jungle, but with lava and stuff, and also enemies to beat up. Then your character does indeed get a bit of an upgrade. Or that's the intention. Your character does get an upgrade in the snowy levels that come after the lava levels. Like you climb up to the mountain through a volcano, you come into the snowy areas where you get like an upgrade. Then you travel through the snowy areas with hazards like falling ice, slipping things, or a snowstorm you can't look through. You come out of that, you go into a desert area, which is hazardous with falling rocks and spiky cacti. And I'm kind of arguing whether or not I should make one of the levels like a really open-ended level with in the middle of a desert, but I'm not sure how to do that and make it exciting without just throwing lots of enemies at you. And finally there would have to be of course the evil lair, filled with traps and platforming puzzles similar to the temple of the jungle, but somewhat more technological looking, like laser traps and acid baths, and also of course enemies. And then finally there's like the big boss you have to fight. The objective of the character is to save his people and of course save the princess. He's from a tribe in the middle of a jungle that on the day of choosing or whatever, where the princess gets to choose who she's going to marry, the Skull Warriors come in, smash the place up, steal all the people, and also of course the princess, who gets brought in over to the evil lair for interrogation by the power hungry Warl. Warl's intention is to gather all the 3 crystals of power, and so he can unleash his army of Skull Warriors and conquer the whole world. Right now he has 2 crystals of power, which isn't enough for him. He needs all 3 of them. You are the only left for dead, or you're forgotten about in the village, and you go on a determined quest through all those hazards that I explained earlier to save your people and save the princess from Warl. I know it is the most original story idea I've ever come up with. But yeah, it's like I said, this project is simple. The story is also going to be super simple, like that. No big convoluted stuff. It's just like you have to go out and save a princess. So, the coins. You may have noticed already me running around in circles, avoiding the coins, and seeing a coin counter on the top. The coins have a special thing in the game. Just like in Mario or in any other platforming game, you can collect them and a counter will go up, that you probably have noticed in the top left of the screen. Once you hit 100 coins, just like in Mario or many other imitations, you will get an extra life. Your character would start with 5 lives that stay there persistently, and you will get a 6th persistent life, for example, if I would now hit 100 coins. The life system is not implemented, I don't have anything for that yet. But that's the idea. Unlike Mario, lives aren't lost and lost forever. For example, you have 5 lives, an enemy hits you twice, so you lose 2 lives. You eat some life-giving stuff like fruits or something that are hanging on bushes in the jungle area, and you get your life back, but not more than 5. You get, like, you can collect 100 coins. Excuse me. You collect 100 coins, you get 6 lives, and if you would lose like lives to hazards or enemies, you can eat fruits that you find in the areas and the levels to regain your lives back, but not more than 6 than the coins you have collected. Each level, the intention for this is that each level has exactly 100 coins. And that the amount of coins you have collected in a level stays persistently. Like, for example, you can't do level 1, collect like a bunch of coins, do level 1 again and collect the exact same coins. The coins you have collected are collected, and it stays that way for the entire time. So this is kind of the idea behind the idea behind it is that a person can go back and try to find the more hidden coins, the one that more are behind challenges or secrets or more hazardous jumping paths in the level that are more rewarding by giving you more coins. Someone who is meticulous at collecting these coins will have more lives by the end of the game facing the boss than someone who doesn't really care much about the coins, if that makes any sense. So yeah, as far as what this game needs, as far as programming goes, the character needs to run very much like this that you see right now, which you've been seeing throughout the whole video. He needs to be able to jump. There's not going to be any double jump. There's not going to be any ledge grab or rope swinging, largely because the platforming just needed to be simple. Originally this plan was intended to be just me alone learning how to do everything. But if someone is interested in, of course, programming for it, then by all means you're welcome. But the original intention is to not have any super complicated things in it. The platforming is literally just all relegated to jumping. No rope swinging, no ledge grabbing, no balancing on tight ropes or anything like that. There is going to be, the intention is that there's going to be like combos in here. Attack combos. They kind of work, sort of. I have like programmed something that is janky as all hell and doesn't really work. But the idea is to have 4 light attacks in a combo and 3 slow or heavy attacks. When a character gets an upgrade, he gets like a staff, which makes the 4 light attacks be wider in reach, and the 3 heavy attacks more concentrated onto a single target. It should be easy enough to do by, spawning in or activating hitboxes of certain shapes at the right moment. The AI isn't meant to be doing anything super complicated. Like, for example, literally all the AI has to do is spawn in once Nach, the character. Oh wait, I didn't even tell you the character's name yet. Nach, the character, comes close enough to the spawn point, probably somewhere out of view. And then when the character, Nach, the character, is close enough to the enemy should literally just approach Nach and start attacking him with a simple one swing attack for the ones that attack with melee weapons. So pathfinding, of course, but that's about it. No patrols, no unique enemy behaviors, anything like that. There's gonna be 4 types of enemies in the game, each with a slight variation. For example, you have the melee unit, which attacks with a club or a sword or a whatever those things are called from South America. That one will just run up to you within melee range and start slashing at you or hitting you. You have then one with a torch. That one comes just outside of your melee range and blows fire on you. Then you have one that throws bombs. Just a character that picks that has like a bag of bombs and throws bombs at you. That one is at range and will not approach you. Will just stay where he is and start throwing bombs at you. And finally, you have another melee unit which is a little larger. That I guess one has the most unique behavior. Attacking from the front, it is invincible, so you have to hit it in the front so that it's busy shielding itself with its shield weapon type deal. So you can walk around to the back and hit him from the back where he'll be defeatable. And that's the whole idea. The boss fights I'm still trying to figure out, but the core gameplay is platforming, collecting coins, beating up enemies, avoiding hazards, and reaching the end. if you're interested in joining a project like this, then I'll be ecstatic. Just know what you're getting yourself into. If I was able to afford an actual programmer, I would probably have put up a job advert in places like DeviantArt, ArtStation, other forums, Reddit, ages ago. But yeah, I obviously I don't have any real funds to pour in this game. However, since people are interested in joining this project, and I actually already have someone who makes music for me, I'm definitely going to be selling this game on Marketplace, likely itch.io. I don't know if I'm going to put it on Steam. And yes, everyone will who contributes to this will get part of the profit if I make any. And that is kind of the thing, isn't it? Will this game make profits? And I will tell you, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. This game is probably so simple that people are gonna look at it and be like, "What is?" I'm not sure if people are gonna have fun with this game. That's the thing. This is my very first game project. I've been toiling away at this for years now. At first, trying to make this in Blender Game Engine, where I actually got a lot further, but a Blender Game Engine got axed, and other situations happened. So the game had been on hiatus for a year or two, and coming back, I decided to port it over to Godot, which I'll talk about now. Godot, the open source game engine that seems to have a lot of big development happening to it now. It's version 4 or 3 point something. Wait, yeah, it's version 3 point something. Version 4 is gonna introduce Vulkan. And one of the things that attract me to this is that it doesn't have any. Everything you make with this is the game engine itself is with the MIT license, and everything you make with this is you can do whatever you want with it. There is no premium version of this program that you need to buy, like Unity, and there's no small text, shall I say. There's no small text on the bottom or anything like that. I don't. If profits would be made from this game, it's not like, oh, if your profits are beyond a certain amount. Oh, that's my phone. If profits are beyond a certain amount, you have to pay the game engine or something like that, because it's a premium thing. It all works by open source, just similar to Blender, how people are working in their free time, meaning that we are free to give donations, but there's no one paying attention to how much money you would make from your game that you create from it, and then go like, hey, you made this game with our game engine, and you have made so much money with it. Now we want 30%. Or something similar. The script that this uses is called GD script. It is basically Python. I can actually show you the script. It is it is Godot's own flavor of Python. Many things are quite similar to Python in here. I've tried doing a bit of Python also earlier when working on Nach in the Blender game engine when that was still a thing. But yeah, this I've written myself, by the way, following tutorials, looking at documentations, but I've hit a big giant wall, especially considering the combo system, which isn't working. But yeah, this is what it would be programmed in. A special version of Python called GD script. It is very similar to Python with some minor differences. If you have any questions, just poke me on Discord or comment on the video below. Well, other than that, this is, I think, everything I can say about the game project so far. See you around.